In this Channel News Asia article from Singapore, it says that DINKs, DINKs, couples who have dual income, no kids, are lagging behind parents when it comes to retirement planning. Is this a worrying trend? DINKs tend to put retirement planning on the back burner until they are in their 40s compared to couples with children who usually start thinking about retirement in their 20s or 30s, financial experts said. It's absolutely true that for parents with kids, the financial commitment is a lot higher compared to couples without kids because it is not cheap to raise kids these days. From the time of delivery, which is really expensive, to childcare costs, enrichment classes, diapers, clothes, even investing in a helper and a family car in order to ease the burden of managing the kids, it is at least a 20 years commitment. There lies the real question. Why are DINKs lagging behind parents in terms of retirement planning? In today's video, I will share with you 3 reasons why. Hi there, I'm John, one half of the Corporate Breakout Couple. In case you're new to this channel, my wife Fran and I have retired early in 2020 at the age of 40. We are married with no kids, but we are not DINKs. We are actually MINKs. Multiple income, no kids. Well, we cover a lot of content on our multiple sources of income in other parts of our channel, so do follow us on the channel, like this video, and let's continue. Back to the CNA article, 4 times a year, Miss Tanya Ong and her husband, both 34, go overseas for holidays in the region, always choosing to fly on Singapore Airlines over budget airlines, and she estimated they spend more than 12,000 Sing dollars on such trips. They also splurge on weekly massages and spend a few $100s a month on the couple's 2 dogs, which include pricier grooming services at home and organic kibbles. The wife, Miss Ong, knows that her choices are usually a little on the extravagant side, but they believe they can splurge more on themselves given that they have decided not to have kids and they don't have to pay for things such as enrichment classes. Now let's take a little pause here because I would like to point out something important to you. And this is the thought process and psychology behind Miss Ong and her husband, which kind of represents many people in this world. Well, they have decided not to have kids, right? So in essence, they have never incurred a single cost on kids before. But notice how they conveniently use that justification to justify why they can then spend money in other areas such as luxury travels, weekly pampering, as well as on their dogs. That's like saying that, oh, because I'm somebody who has seasick and therefore I'm not buying a yacht, therefore I can justify buying and spending money on a Lamborghini. You get my reference? Basically what I'm saying is, many people who are financially illiterate will find all sorts of excuses, all sorts of justification, reasons that they pluck from the sky to justify that particular spend. Same goes for retirement planning. For DINKs, because they think they have more spending money, they can afford to delay their retirement and not think about it, also because they have no financial responsibilities such as kids. Another example of DINKs, Miss Jeanette Wong, 32, describes herself as a carefree spender who does not budget her spending in advance. She will not hesitate to spend on good experiences such as omakase meals, traveling to expensive destinations such as Scandinavia, Switzerland, and her justification is when it comes to having no kids, you are freer, right? You try more things, and typically in Singapore, try more things means spending more money. Another DINKs example, communications professional Siti, who is 31, and a husband who is 33, said that they are taking the opportunity to spend more on themselves before having children. And they said, we have not started on retirement planning because we want to breathe and enjoy life a little after COVID-19. Miss City also expects that as a couple, their income will continue to grow as they climb the corporate ladder, making them confident they will be able to meet any future needs, including having children and getting ready for retirement. The gist of this article can be summarized in these 2 paragraphs. CNA Today spoke to several working couples with no children who said that they have not started planning for their retirement because they still have a long runway. Most of them said that they are savoring their prime years of their 30s and 40s, focusing on leisure activities and enjoying life before they eventually turn their attention to retirement savings. There are a lot more examples given in this article. I'll link it below. They also compare between DINKs and parents' financial indicators scorecard, so you can read more about that. The first reason why DINKs are lagging behind parents in terms of retirement planning is the complacency of time. When people lapse into repeated cycles and fall into similar routines that is the same day in and day out, their automatic behavior takes over, and as a result, they stop thinking, the creativity slows down, and they stop asking the questions. In the case of many dual income, no kids couple, after they have spent on their big ticket items such as their honeymoon, wedding, their car, their house, the question is, what's next for them? For many of them in their 30s and 40s, instead of gunning for their next big financial goal, which is retirement, they lapse into a cycle of lifestyle inflation instead. Because there is no big financial goal in their mind, in their heads to gun for, they then choose to spend their extra savings, their extra earnings as they progress through the years on what? On items, on material things such as bigger cars, bigger house which they are staying in, which is a huge liability, more expensive travels, more expensive food, more branded wear, and the list goes on. Very often, when the automatic behavior sets in, because these people are addicted to spending, they need their regular dopamine hits. Therefore, the complacency of time sets in and they don't even know it. The time comes when they need to retire and they won't have enough retirement savings. The second reason is no generational planning needed. For parents with kids, they don't just think within their own lifetime. They think beyond to their kids' lifetime, sometimes even 3 to 4 generations. That's how the rich and wealthy do it. That's why there's so many family offices that's handling generational wealth. For DINKs, as there's no continuity of life after them, therefore they don't have to hold any financial responsibility for kids and perhaps just need to hold some for their aging parents. Therefore, because DINKs only have to worry about themselves, their attitude is there's actually no sense of urgency to plan for retirement, to plan for the next generation, and therefore there is no rush. Let me share with you an example that can highlight the difference between a DINK and a parent in terms of spending money and their attitudes. For example, when work stress kicks in and for this DINK, this person spends money on a very expensive dinner to make him or herself feel better as a coping mechanism. For the parent, he or she might not do the same because they might be thinking of their kids first and being more careful with their finances because they have more financial responsibility. They might take their money to spend on their kids instead. So that's the difference in terms of attitude, in terms of spending money, and most likely the DINK will spend more continuous money in order to cope. When you only need to care about yourself and worry about your own finances, definitely there will be a freer feeling, but there lies the danger when one gets complacent and fall into a trap of continuous spending. On the flip side, for parents, their kids have full dependency on them for their finances. Therefore, because of a bigger burden, they will be more careful about their spending, and therefore when they have handled all the big ticket items and handled their kids' education and all that, they start to think about retirement planning. The third reason, which is kind of an expansion of the first reason, is that DINKs fall heavily into the lifestyle trap. They get caught in the rat race. And because they are fully reliant on one single source of income, and many of times these guys are not financially literate. Therefore, they don't have other ways of making money, and as they spend more and more money, they don't realize that they get deeper and deeper in the rat race. The more liabilities they incur, the bigger house, the bigger car, the luxurious travels, the more they spend on their credit cards, the more they have to work longer and harder to fuel those expenses. As these DINKs grow into their career in their 40s and 50s, their productivity will actually drop because as they age, their energy levels will drop, but at the same time, they will become more and more expensive for the companies to justify for them. Therefore, they need to keep working as hard, and because they are holding senior positions, some of them, they might have to work longer hours as well. If these DINKs who don't plan for retirement are very financially irresponsible, chances are they won't have a great retirement. On the flip side, parents, because they are conditioned, because they think about the next generation, there's a good chance they will have a better retirement plan than these DINKs, and therefore in terms of retirement lifestyle, I think parents will actually have better lifestyle than the DINKs. For parents, their kids serve as strong motivators for them to stay convicted on their financial path, and the family continuity will be a very key anchor point for them to stay the course. So, for couples without kids, you are actually in a very strong financial position to get to early retirement faster than parents because you do have less financial commitment. So, what you want to do is to up your level of financial literacy, and that's something that Fran and I can help you with. We also have no kids, but we are already financially independent. So, we conduct free masterclasses a few times a month where we talk about financial literacy, breaking out the rat race, early retirement, wealth creation, and much more. So click on the link below to join our email list, and then we'll send you our Zoom details. Of course, we invite parents to join us as well, as personal finance is each and everybody's responsibility to handle, just like your personal health. I'm John, one half of the Corporate Breakout Couple, signing off. I hope this video has served you well. Do hit the like button, subscribe to join our channel, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.